Hello, I'm Meg Salyer, and I'd like to welcome you to the Ward 6 City Council Show. I am delighted today to have with me Dr. Raul Font, who is the president of the Latino Community Development Agency, affectionately known to us as the LCDA. Dr. Font, we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, this is an amazing program, amazing series of programs, organization in Oklahoma City that has grown so much over the years. And I wanted to tell the viewers a little bit about what LCDA does, how you so successfully help citizens in our community, and particularly how you're working with young people today. But could you tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from, and how you got to Oklahoma City?
Sure. I'm a kid from Chicago. Grew up in Bronx, New York, street kid.
That's why we're great friends already.
You
Remember,
bet.
I was born in Queens Hospital. So.
And from there, we moved to Puerto Rico, where I was given a basketball and changed my life forever. So I know about poverty. I know about being raised in different parts of the country. Moved to Oklahoma in 1981, thinking I was going to be here a couple of years. And on and off, I've been here 36 years. This is home. This is where I think I'm going to die, unfortunately. We at the Latino Agency work with kids and families like the ones I grew up with. We cater to the poor. We cater to the masses that need the social help. We encourage education because that is my background. I am a school administrator by trade. Just happened to be the founder and the founding board member of Latino Agency back 26 years ago.
So your history with the organization goes very deep.
It's there. And we hired Pat Fennell, and those that know Pat Fennell, she was a social worker. And so she converted the majority of our programs into social work activities. You name an assistance that is needed for our families and youth, and we have it in our building. We also are really working on prevention. And therefore, we are working with the school systems as well as the law enforcement organizations to make this country and this state and this city a better place to live in.
Great. Let's talk about some of those relationships because they're really important to all of us. I think our viewers probably know that the Hispanic population is the most rapidly growing in our community.
That's correct.
Ward 6 is incredibly blessed to be exactly 50-50 in Caucasian and Hispanic, and reaches deeply into the neighborhoods in South Oklahoma City. So I've been involved for years. Pat was a dear friend of mine. But let's maybe start with law enforcement, because we have I think, very special police department and a great chief. But you guys work really closely together.
And that's correct. Paco Valderrama, which now Major Paco Valderrama.
It's hard I have to remember that all the time.
Yeah, we have to remember because he was one of my students when I was the principal at U.S. Grant High School.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so to see this young man develop and see him as a leader now in our community, thanks to the leadership in our police department. Both the police department and the sheriff's department work very closely with the Latino Agency in making sure that we educate our constituents and our community about law enforcement and the rights that they have to be here and the rights that they have to be treated in a certain way. Even when we had the elections in November, as everyone started being rattled and what that meant and what are we going to be doing? Are we going to be stereotyped? Are we going to be profiled? The chief and then the acting sheriff, Taylor, met with me and assured us that we were going to be treated as we were supposed to be treated, and that to make sure that we, through community forums that we did all over the city, had our families relax enough, and that's what I actually presented this summer back at Georgetown University about the status of Oklahoma with immigration.
Great. What a wonderful opportunity to have Oklahoma seen as a leader in this area. That's a very special thing, and thank you for participating in that. We're grateful. And Police Athletic League, works with young kids all over the community and kind of draws into a connection with the schools. Oklahoma City public school system, the I-89 district, is now 53%
That's correct.
Hispanic children, and many of those also in my ward. I know that the Foundation for Oklahoma City Public Schools is working very hard to teach paraprofessional teachers on how to teach bilingual students, because so many of these young people are learning English as their second language, as are their families. And is that programming that you also offer?
Well, Mary Malone and I go back a long time, and you know that I was employed with the Oklahoma City Public Schools for many years, and so the sense of me understanding education and them knowing my background, we work very closely, and I sit on several of their committees. Primarily, I want to have the audience recall that 3 years ago, when the city schools were having issues with suspending kids, we housed them at LCDA because we have trained professionals that are therapists and counselors that work with families and kids that for some reason or another they don't know how to control their emotions. And so when the city decided to, when the city schools decided rather than suspending the kids, should we be helping them? We stepped in, and rather than criticizing the school system, we were part of the solution. And I think that's the key, I think, and my message to the organizations that are out there. Sitting and criticizing doesn't help anything. We need to be part of that solution. And so at the end of that year, over 300 young men and women came through our agency. Almost 80% of those kids never got into any problems again in school.
That's absolutely fantastic. I did know that, but thank you for the reminder that they were there and able to take advantage of the counselors. On a slightly different subject, I know you work very closely in the medical community, and breast cancer is an area, both prevention and awareness and treatment is something that you help the women of your community with.
Yes, ma'am. We have so our agency has 4 major platforms. We do health, treatment, prevention, and education. In our health programs, we have actually 2 medical doctors that are in that program. And one of them is actually the director of our health community. And one of the most popular programs, unfortunately, is that breast cancer program, which we have connections with a lot of our hospitals and doctors around the city and actually abroad, that we work closely in navigating the young lady, or because it's getting younger and younger. I mean, believe it or not, at age 20-ish, we've been diagnosing breast cancer on women, which blows my mind. And I have 4 daughters, and God bless them, these individuals that go through that this early. But we would go through the diagnosis process all the way through the treatment.
Well, important to be talking about it, because I think
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
That's correct.
And so timing
I have
is
to wear my
good.
pink tomorrow.
Wear pink tomorrow. We've got walks the next 2 Saturdays, I think. We've got walks, one the Komen Walk and one the Breast Cancer Association is doing a downtown walk. So it's a really important, and the results that we've seen from your program are just terrific. People are able to get treatment and recover.
But it's because of the partnerships we have.
Right.
Because if we would not have the partnership, where would we send them?
Exactly. A difficult subject.
Okay.
Could we talk a little bit about DACA and what that means for the young people in our community, and how the Latino Community Development Agency can assist?
Well, it's really confusing. One of our presidents decided that this is something that needs to be addressed, and so we address it by providing and giving a window of opportunity to individuals that met the criteria.
And can we maybe explain, just in case someone doesn't know, these are young people that came as children with their parents, no blame of their own, and have integrated into our society, our students, and are trying to pursue their education.
That's correct.
And they were given an opportunity to remain without fear.
These are the ones that image and mirror the American dream. They did the right thing. They, for no reason other than their parents bringing them here to America, believing that this is the land of the opportunity. These kids stayed out of trouble, went to school, graduated from school, pursued college degrees, and many of them, because I worked with the system I know personally, to be shocked last spring by many of them realizing that they may not be renewed after they've been working for the last 4 years. So there was two cycles of 2 years, having the opportunity to go to college and now finishing their degrees, going back to their communities and working and providing the support to other kids, and now being questioned, should they not be citizens, should not be involved in what they studied and helping their community. It's a little confusing for a lot of these kids, which are now adults.
Right, and these are the young adults that are our future.
This is this is what we work for.
Exactly.
So you and I could retire someday.
I'm ready. Yeah. We need to hurry.
And everybody knows that it's cheaper to educate a young man and a young woman than to incarcerate them.
Right.
So that's the pill that I'm trying to swallow, and that's the type of message that we want to get to our young people, that it's going to be okay. We don't know how, but I think that the time will tell if this is going to be something that's going to devastate the United States or not.
Absolutely. Raul, we've just touched the surface on the programming that you offer. How could people get involved? It takes money to do this. Are there opportunities for people to donate if they wanted to reach you? How might they do that? Okay,
so we have a web page, of course, and we have a website. We have a number that I could give you, and so we actually help partners that provide us with assistance, and they actually have advertisement on our web page. We actually have a lot of pictures that we do, and ways that we could promote them and on our partnership. Last week we had a luncheon. Thank you for attending it.
Absolutely. The Cowboy Hall of Fame was full.
We packed it.
We packed it.
It was the most successful one that we've had so far.
Great.
The partners there learned about what LCDA does. We showed them what we do. Partnerships that we've had showed, like the Tio Chuy, who actually gave a car to the family of the year, changed their lives forever, because that transportation now helps them taking kids to school and going and accessing the workplace and so forth and so on. So we have about 25 different programs. So we have the choice and the opportunity for any of them that would like to embrace a program, if they would like to choose the agency in general and provide them with some type of assistance, or they could just donate in general to the LCDA. And so 236-0701 is our number.
Perfect.
That's where they could reach me.
Great. I am so thankful for you coming today. I think we could spend 3 hours instead of 30 minutes talking about all these things, but the difference that your leadership has made in that community. We all know that Pat's shoes were hard to fill. She was an amazing catalyst for this organization, but to see it now really being taken to a new level. Your location is great. People know how to find you. We need to do a little work on the building one of these days. But the outreach is extraordinary, and you're really making a difference in such a significant part of our community. So thank you for being part of Ward 6, and thank you for joining me today.
And thank you for giving us this opportunity and for your help in what we do every day.
Appreciate it.